It's a nice
I
camera.
don't know. Yeah, that's a nice camera. Yeah, it is a nice camera. But it's getting old. See how it's getting. But it's okay. It's okay. Okay, I did interviews, many. And this thing here I'm very interested in. And there it is. See the little tripod there? Somebody gave it to me. See? Pretty good, huh?
Yep.
So, we're going to do something here. I hope it goes okay. Yeah, well,
I'm good.
I think you better
I just do that?
loosen it up. There you go. I call you the banker.
Okay.
And this thing here is...
I've heard you call people worse.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I'm sitting down with the Premier tomorrow.
Okay.
You have any question for the Premier?
No.
No, but maybe...
Well, maybe you could help us with our little funding project here.
Funding, that's what we're here
Spend
for.
some money. Sorry, we have to spend a little.
Money. And your name is?
Brian Jones.
And you are...
Investment banking for TD Wealth.
And first time we met was you tried to play the part of a homeless. You did.
Yes, that's right. It was actually in our other office down at the other end.
Was it?
I think we had a meeting down there.
And that was?
And you wouldn't leave. You said I wasn't going to leave till I did an interview.
And that was...
And it worked.
And it wasn't with that.
No,
it
was the old hand one.
Oh, hand?
Yeah, you were handing them like this. And
There was no videos.
yeah.
There was no videos. It was talking.
No, it was a video.
Was it?
There's a video. You go back and find it. It's there.
It's been, it's a long time.
Would have been 2000,
8, 9.
somewhere in that range, yeah. Might even
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a very long time. And you played, you've been very, very, you have a side of you that homelessness bothers you.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, it's just not necessary, right? We have enough. Everybody has enough. And if we, I think the homelessness part, a lot of it's the mental illness side, right? So we have enough money here to fix the problem. And we just, for whatever reason, it takes a long time to do that. The Mayor's Task Force on Homelessness, I mean, we addressed that probably 3 or 4 years ago. We actually have enough money in the Fredericton Community Foundation. I'd say there's probably, I'm just going to guess, don't quote me, but I'm going to say there's probably 1.3 to 1.4 million in that account. And that's enough to build, with partnerships, to build 30 to 40 houses. So the money's already there. It's been there for 2 or 3 years. It's just sitting there.
But the problem is, as you know, don't want to talk about this, I just thought about it.
Yeah.
You came face to face with mental illness last summer.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was an eye opener.
Yeah.
It's you had people like that. Like, tell me what happened there.
Or are we talking about where Sarah got shot? Or are we talking?
We're talking about the guy that.
The guy that's going to rip my head off.
Rip your head off.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. So I was coming back from yoga, walking along King's Place, right in front of Subway, and this guy was coming up behind me, and he's talking to. Well, I didn't know he was talking to me, but he's yelling at somebody, and then finally he says, "You better walk faster, or I'm going to rip your flipping head off."
Yeah.
So of course I turn around.
Of course, you train and everything.
And he turned around, and started walking. I was like, "Are you talking to me?"
Yeah.
And he starts backing up, and then he starts barking like a dog, and walks the other way.
Yeah.
It was like, but I mean, if I was a younger, smaller person or a female, that could have been quite frightening for them.
Exactly. Now you have people like that in a family home, or a person like that in the shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to cause problems.
Yeah.
So how do you handle people like that?
Well, again, it's back to the coaching and the training and people need medication a lot of times, and people need places to go, and they just don't have it. So here, back to where I was kind of going with the mental illness part.
Isn't it tough to have two people? See, ADHD. We're up in the jump all over the place. This is going to be good.
So the problem is, if you wanted, like for example, if you wanted to kill yourself tomorrow, you said, Ryan, I'm going to kill myself. Let's call somebody. Guess what? We'll see you March 16th. It's a little bit long, right? If you're in that desperate state. So as I was just showing Charles here, we have a whole binder of kids under 25 here that have been killing themselves, and nobody really seems to be talking about it. And the kids, it's a little different. Like if you're older and you want to kill yourself, it's kind of a longer, drawn-out process. Some days you do, some days you don't. Kids, they break up with their girlfriend. Well, they go jump off the bridge the next day. So they need someone to talk.
They blow their head off. I know many.
And they, the first responders are great people to talk to because
Yes.
they see it happen every
Oh,
weekend.
yes.
Every weekend, and that affects them, and that kind of always gives them a little bit of PTSD. The police officers deal with it. I mean, they're seeing it every day, and they got phones stuck in their face, so they're going to get impacted. The nurses and the doctors at the hospital office, so it's almost spreads, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a war in that. It's a war zone in that hospital. You got the elitists, want to be elitists, snobs, poor.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that for a
mental
second.
illness and under the same roof
Yeah.
at the hospital. It's a war zone.
But it's not this illness and this epidemic that I think is happening. It's the kids have the problems, right? They've got the suicide. They're also got eating disorders. Like if you go to the pediatric unit at the hospital, most of them aren't sick. It's mental stuff. It's a lot more mental stuff at the hospital than it used to be. So you got those people. Then you got the younger kids, like at university. When I was in university, I couldn't have had more fun. Really.
Yeah.
But now 30% of them are being treated for some type
Everything.
So the counselors are full. So then you got the older people. So you got and it doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you're black or white or native or it's linked to
Mental
everybody.
issues.
My biggest struggle in my office here is the older people. I mean, we're getting people that are getting dementia and Alzheimer's, and you're seeing it more and more. So we have all these problems, and it's getting worse, and we all know it. And
How old are you, Brian?
50.
You're 50.
Yeah.
And
Actually, I'm 30.
whatever. So if you got a brain of a 20-year-old, we got the body of a 50-year-old, but we got a brain of a 20-year-old.
Maybe a body of a 90. 26 years of rugby. I think I got a
26. It's 26 years of rugby. Okay, now we got 6 minutes. If there's anybody still here, they need to get a life.
Yep.
But we're going to get to the most important issues. You want to raise money, and for what again?
Well, our goal is to get a 24-hour mental walk-in clinic downtown.
Walk-in clinic, mental walk-in clinic. What's that?
Because if you're going to kill yourself, most people don't do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. It's generally 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning when there's nobody to talk to. So we need people to get in there when they need to go. And people need to know where to go, right? You just can't have it's got to be a place where people know they can go. It's got to be staffed and it's got to be safe.
And it has to be a psychologist to listen.
I would think it has to be at least a counselor. I mean, everyone says it has to be psychologist or psychiatrist, or I think you could triage it, but it needs someone there at least.
Don't the healthcare pay for that?
Well, that's why we've got to get this set up. I mean, I think I've heard numbers, like they have one in Moncton. I think I heard numbers around $1 million to $1.5 million to run it.
$1.5 million to run it?
So, I mean, that sounds like a lot, but I mean, I've seen kids get drugs that cost $1 million to save their life. We're talking, again, 30 to 50 kids every year. So is $1 million worth 30 to 50 kids?
So you want to collect money. You're going to go and you're going to try to raise money.
Yeah.
To have this.
And awareness. Because people need to know, and then we need to figure out, because this walking...
Awareness. The man wants to go for awareness, but where he's going, there's not too many people to preach.
Well, just back to that, because the walk-in clinic is a Band-Aid, right? It's not fixing the problem.
I'm talking where you're going.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're going, you're not going to be preaching about awareness.
No.
Only if a penguin understands where the penguins about mental issues. We're jumping here, but we're going to go. And what are you going to do to raise awareness on this issue?
So we're going to go to the South Pole. I'm going to ski to the South Pole, Antarctica. Probably take me 8 to 10 days. Where I'm just going to drop you off in the middle of nowhere and just ski there. People ask me like, why the South Pole? I've already skied to the North Pole.
Oh, you already skied to the North Pole?
Yes, you're like behind the times. So
no, I'm too busy talking about me. Okay. Sorry.
So skied to the North Pole, so now I'm skiing to the South Pole. So I will now have skied to both poles, which would make me...
An idiot?
Bipolar.
Bipolar, okay. Pretty
okay.
Okay.
I've been told not to say that because you're making fun of that, but I'm not really
we're not. Okay,
we're not making fun of bipolar. That's actually what they're called.
It just came out of my mouth. I didn't know you were going to say bipolar. Bipolar, oh yeah, bipolar. Okay.
So it kind of links into the mental illness thing, right? So I'm not there to make fun of bipolar people.
No, of course not. No. But
it's
you went to the North Pole.
Went to the North Pole.
How long that took you?
It took probably 2 weeks.
I didn't know that. See, I thought you think you know a person.
Yeah.
So you're going to the South Pole.
Yep.
And there's already people that done this? I suppose.
Yeah, well, there's only, I think, 1,000 people that have skied both to the North and South Pole, and then I'm going to climb Mount Vincent. I know there's only been 1,000.
Where's Mount Vincent?
It's in Antarctica. It's the highest mountain in Antarctica.
It's a continent.
Yeah. Continent's a little bit bigger than Canada. There's about 1,000 to 2,000 people on the continent at any one time. It's on 9,000 feet of ice, so you're at altitude. You pull a sled that's about 150 pounds. Usually do it 8 to 10 hours a day. You got to go slow enough that you don't sweat, but fast enough that you stay warm. You're kind of going into the wind all the time because it blows from the pole. The good news is I'm a little lighter because the centrifugal force of the Earth is a little bit lighter at the bottom and the top of the pole, so that's kind of interesting. I could give you a bunch of science on it.
Who's going to be with you?
So I'm going to go with the guide, and then there's 2 guys from Czechoslovakia.
Oh, good. I'm very glad to hear that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be by myself.
I thought it was just a GPS and say, okay, we're heading that way.
No, you got to go with some professional people.
Yes, they're just like Mount Everest. But then again, Mount Everest, people are dying there every week.
Yeah,
And
well, that's
they're
because they're
professional guides.
Well, they're waiting in line, right, and above 25,000 feet.
Yeah, and the climate change.
20. Well, if you're waiting at 25,000 feet, you're dying because your cells break down at 25,000 feet and higher. So this mountain's only 17,000 feet, but it's a little trickier because it's all ice. It's a glacier. A lot of people don't know as well that Antarctica is a desert. So it only gets 30 centimeters of snow a year. So there's another interesting fact for you.
Say that again?
It's a desert. It only gets 30 centimeters of snow
That's
a year.
all?
That's it. It's a desert. Just because I've been to the Sahara, the Gobi,
Yeah,
and the
you've been there.
Atacama.
I know you've been there.
So I've been to all the other deserts. So this was the other one I wanted to do a marathon in too. So I'll be basically doing several. And then the mountain's a little tricky because it is very icy, and at the summit it's minus 70. So, but we'll take the flags up to the top, and we'll take our New Brunswick flag and our Fredericton flag and UNB flag. Maybe I'll take a Charles LeBlanc flag.
Charles LeBlanc, no, you could use the ADHD flag. We're both the same on that one, with many thousands of other people. Now, I rode a bicycle across Canada, but you went to the North Pole. I didn't know that. I rode a 10-speed bike across Canada, around the Maritimes, across Canada, and across the States.
Did you make any money?
No, that was before Terry Falls.
Okay.
That was before Terry Falls. And I wish I would have known, because then it was a big deal to ride a bike across Canada. Now, just go. And I remember I was training in New Brunswick and when I went on the plane, I looked for 2 hours, the prairies was all square.
Yeah.
And when I see the Rocky Mountain, I went, oh my God, my mouth went like this.
Yeah.
And I almost took a return ticket back home. I didn't really know what to expect. So, but you were in the North Pole. The North Pole just like the South Pole?
No, the North Pole's a lot different. The North Pole's on ice.
Yeah, but is it the same wind and
Well, no,
cold?
it's all different because at the North Pole, you're on ice, there's open water, and if you fall in the water there, it's 10,000 feet down. So you don't want to do that. And the North Pole as well, you got polar bears. So you got to be careful of polar bears. And then when you get to the North Pole, you don't really, there's no pole. You've actually got to look at a GPS that's 90 degrees latitude. When you're there, you're like, yeah, I'm at the North Pole.
Yeah.
2 minutes later, you're not at the North Pole. So it's a little bit different. Now,
Just like going across Canada. People, why they go from Vancouver to Halifax? How come they don't go from Vancouver to St. John?
yeah, Newfoundland.
Newfoundland, because they can't say they went across Canada, because they only went from Vancouver to Halifax.
Yeah.
So just like you,
Yeah.
the pole, got to find out
Exactly where it is. So
where it
anybody
is.
that, if you ever see a picture of somebody at the North Pole, they're probably not there because the ice is moving, right? And when you ski up there, you'll ski like 10 hours in a day or 10 miles in a day. You go to bed at night, the ice shifts back, so you go back 5. So it's like being on an escalator the whole time.
So you start, and then it's not that you did this before. You say, okay, here we go. Cold, but there's 3 other people with you and a guide?
Yeah, well, go back now. The South Pole's a little different because the South Pole, it's on ice.
Yeah, okay.
There's no holes in the water you got to worry about, so it's on ice.
Climate change don't affect
Well, not
those
in the
cracks?
not in the center, right? We're kind of in the center of Antarctica, like out on the coast. That's where all the ice is falling
Yeah.
off. And then you keep skiing, and then there's actually a South Pole. There's actually a pole there and a station, and you actually have a little party, and you can see it and touch it and feel it, and it's all there. The other thing about the South Pole, although it's colder and windier than the North Pole, the holes in the ozone layer are really big down by the South Pole.
Yes.
So you could get really bad burn,
Oh,
even though
really?
it's -4. And when you get in the tent, this
Minus
is
4.
40.
Yeah, that's why I said.
When you're in the tent, it's quite comfortable because the radiation heats up the tent. So unlike the North Pole, when you get in the tent, you're still freezing. In the South Pole, you can actually wear a T-shirt and, so.
So, okay. So how many nights?
Well, it depends how long it's going to take us. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
you can't
going into
answer.
the wind,
You can't
you're
answer.
going fairly slow, you're trying not to sweat, but you're trying to go fast enough to stay warm. And then a lot of people don't know, too, when you're setting up tents in minus 40 or 50 with 70-mile-an-hour winds, you don't want your tent to blow away or you're dead.
Oh, but you have guys that's been
No.
there.
I'm putting up the tent. There's only 2 or 3
I
of
know,
us.
but
right?
they're going to make sure that the tent, hey, this is how you do it. Make sure. You got professionals there that did this before.
One.
Just one.
So anyway, you get the tent put up, and then you spend about 2 hours melting water. Because you need the water for the food, the water for the next day, the water for the next
There's
morning.
no acid rain there.
Well, I hope not, because we're melting snow. So
That's what I'm saying.
So that's quite a job. That's 2 to 4 hours a day, just going out, getting snow, coming back, and you can melt that much snow and get about that much water. So it's a long process.
And what are you going to eat?
Generally, eat food in a bag. You just dump the water in, and it's usually like spaghetti, porridge. Kraft dinner, yeah. And then
Peanut butter. Peanut butter. That's
Yeah.
what I used to have. Honey. Peanut butter and honey.
Number one injury is dental problems. So during the day, I eat generally Smarties, peanuts, a lot of fat and peanuts. One day for breakfast in the North Pole, we had a pound of bacon and 2 glasses of butter. Because you just want the fat, right?
Yeah.
I lost probably 40 pounds in the North Pole.
Okay, so then what you're going to do when you're night in a tent? You're going to be connected to the internet?
Yeah, I'll have the cell phone each night, and I think this cell phone, unlike the North Pole, will be able to actually take a few photos. So
you're going to be writing, saying, are you going to be on YouTube?
No, I'll be on Facebook, and I'll be on I'll be on all the stuff. I haven't quite got that
Yeah, but I mean,
defined.
can you upload right from...
Yeah, you'll be able to upload there, send it on. It'll probably be voice messages instead of writing. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to text enough, but I'll be able to call into a voicemail.
I could call you on Facebook and say, okay, in
No.
that case, how is it going?
No one will be able to
No.
contact me.
No?
But I'll be able to
Not
call
on Facebook?
No, but I'll be able to call into a phone, leave the message. They'll put the message on Facebook so you can hear what I did each day, or where I'm at, or if I'm cold, or if I got all my fingers, toes. If I killed any penguins, fell in a hole.
Penguin? You plan to see it?
There's actually there's no animal.
There's no animals there at all?
There's no life. Yeah.
No life.
Yeah.
The only life is you,
Yeah.
and it could be lost.
Well, let's hope not.
No.
Yeah.
So will we be able to follow you on GPS? Would you
Oh yeah,
have some kind
I'll have a GPS. There'll be a tracker.
that's
So we do have a website. It's 20for20.ca. If I had to guess,
20 for 20.
.ca.
20 for
So
20.
they created that name, I guess, because 20
they?
the hospital foundation who I'm partnering with.
Okay.
So 20% of people suffer from mental illness, which I
That's
will.
all?
Well, that's what I'd say. I'd say we all suffer from it at different points
What's
in our
normal?
life. What? Well,
What's the definition of normal?
I do not know.
I do not know either.
I do know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, which we seem to be doing.
Okay.
And so we're not doing normal things here, we're doing insane things. So we need to get
That's it.
we need to get people fired up, and we need to actually say, let's stop this, and let's actually, it's so easy to make a difference.
What are you talking about? I mean, people are too busy with their own Facebook, and they're going like this on the phone. They're all zombies, and the other half is high on crystal meth.
I'm going to tell you, this is what's going to happen. This is my prediction. Charles LeBlanc Plog, 10 years from now, I will say, staring at your phone in public will be as socially unacceptable as secondhand smoke.
Yeah, well,
I think people will get to a point, it's like, you need to put your phones away. It's not healthy. And the way it's getting in this world, you can't say anything or do anything. I may find that insulting, or it hurts me to see you on your phone, and we're so sensitive now
Yeah.
that will actually become a reality that people will, if they want to look at their phone, they're going to have to go in their office and close the door.
I agree with you 100%.
Instead of walking down the street like this. And
I was at Tim Horton last night, and then there was 5 so-called homeless, but they weren't homeless, but they were around the table, 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
The hoodie,
Yeah. Might have been me.
no, it wasn't you. They were just going. I mean, they were all surrounded at a table, but they all had Nobody's communicating no more. It's just no us. We like to talk, and then okay, and then we got attention from certain people. They'll listen to us.
And if you have ADHD, it drives you even more insane.
Oh Jesus!
So and that is a problem with the phones and the communication and the kids and the adults now. Even the older people are into it. So it's.
I know we're going back after right. That's another issue. But so you're going to turn around. How much money did you raise so far? Do you know?
We haven't raised any money, actually. Just started.
You just started.
So, and fundraising and awareness and it's hard to really put a target on it. We'll have like a celebration dinner when we get back too, but I would envision raising $500,000. And my big belief, this is to you guys as well, if the public raises money, the government should always match it. It's my big belief that government, I don't care which one, municipal, federal, they could all point to who should do it. If we raise $500,000 with our after-tax money, and the government's got all this tax money over here, and we say this is what we're supporting with this amount of money, the government should say, all right, we'll match that.
We'll see I'll see the Premier, we'll see Ted Fleming. Yeah. This thing here is high definition, and I know it's going to shut down in 9 minutes.
Okay.
Can I show the boots?
Yeah, go ahead.
Show me. Here. Show me the boots. What you're going to do.
I just got the boots.
Yeah.
These are not even these are just the walking boots, but these ones are designed for the ski, right? So you got the ski, so you can put the ski boot on here, and then if you want to, and then you can see it's got like 2 liners in there, so this is like good for like minus 50, minus 60, so you can actually get pretty cozy.
That's what you're going to be.
That's the one I'm going to the South Pole in. And then there's another boot, it's a little bit different, it's for mountain climbing. And the mountain climbing one has the spikes on it too, right? Because you don't want to fall down on the ice and slide down off a mountain. It's bad. You die when that happens, so you break stuff. So, but yeah, that's pretty simple. This is actually sleeping bag for minus 50. Not that it'll be minus 50 in the tent, but it's, yeah. And then I just got these actually too, which are just kind of nice, warm pants, right? So, Polar Explorers is the name of the company I'm going with, so.
Is that what you're going? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, Polar Explorers. So the cool thing about these pants is once you get your layers on, you just want something that breaks the wind.
Yeah.
So you get your layers on. It's just like going for a walk here. People think it's all rocket science. It's not that.
What happens if you drink a lot of water or you need to go to the washroom? What happens there?
Well, the water you got to keep in your jacket because it will freeze.
Yeah.
So you pump it in, keep it. You can put it under your arm.
You need a piss.
Batteries.
You need a piss.
Well, the other cool thing is, the pee, you just got to get out and do it, just like we all do it. But we actually collect number 2 stuff in a bag and take it with us. They don't want to leave. It's got to be pristine.
Oh, really?
So it's a bit of a job. In the North Pole, when you go to do number 2, you go far enough from the tent, make sure you don't fall in.
And the polar bears.
And the guy watches you with a rifle with a scope on you, which is quite weird. Because I kind of like to close the door when I use the bathroom, right? Be by myself. But you're sitting there, and then you want to do it quick, and if it's all cloudy, you can't see the polar bear coming. And he runs very fast, and he smells it. So he's coming running. So I kind of always joked with the guy that had the scope on me, like, just shoot me. Don't shoot him.
So that's the stuff.
That's the North Pole, yeah. The North Pole is a little trickier. South Pole's a little colder. In the tent, it's a little warmer.
So you plan to come back? And when's the last time somebody did this? Do you know? Somebody.
Nobody's from New Brunswick's ever did it.
No.
Oh no. I mean, I think a few people might have flew to the South Pole.
Oh really?
I think you could take